All
I don't
emotional.
have feelings for you, Devon. I'm sorry.
And I
Listen,
don't care what you say. It's not true.
as
I
long
don't.
as the
I
as
don't
long as
have
the
them.
as long as the Rikishi man, I be the RIKISHI. Y'all know the man.
Wow. There you
That was
go.
pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I want one. Make a rap for me.
Mo, he's my man. If he can't do it, nobody can.
That's original. I've never heard that one
I'll
before.
take it. It's fine. I'll take it. I'll take it. I am Mo Lightning. Thank you for streaming us live or maybe on demand. Episode number 51 of Table Talk. To my left is Lindsay. Lindsay, how are you?
Happy? I'm doing great. Excited to
Excellent.
be here.
Excellent. And our our first WWE Hall of Famer on the show today. He is Devon. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, not bad. As long as the dirt sheets don't put me in the grave. Other than that, I'm doing all right. We're not going to go into that, but it is what it is.
Happens. It's all right. We went into that last week.
But I will say this: one of the dirt sheets, I guess, was listening and actually gave me kudos to my mom. And said, congratulations, in terms of my mom beating COVID, and they were listening and they were true sportsmen about the whole thing and understood. And I can't remember for the life of me which website it was, but if you're listening, thank you very much for that. She's doing phenomenal. And it's just, even the few other people that have had COVID that I've known are doing great. So
excellent.
Thank you for your well wishes for my mother and, of course, for myself during the times of coming down with a common cold and could beat it, but it wasn't COVID. But thank you.
Yeah, we do appreciate people paying attention, of course, supporting the show here.
Absolutely.
And speaking of COVID stories, I have one for the second half of the show. I worried I wasn't actually going to be here on time for this program, but I'll explain it later. Now, though, it's time to welcome our guest, another WWE Hall of Famer from one famous family. And I love the picture I chose of him threatening Devon. That was our preview picture. Welcome to the show, Rikishi.
Lord have mercy. Oh, my God. Y'all better buckle up. I'm like,
my brother.
Hey, man, thank you so much for having me, man. Devon, what's happening, man? What's going on with you?
Oh, same old, man. Just trying to live that dream and make that money like we all do. And, only how we can do it from the Attitude Era.
Man, listen here, man. It's a pleasure, man. I appreciate y'all inviting me on to the show. But y'all better get ready because this is going to be one show to remember now.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So excited.
John wants to know that, or wants you to know that you look fly today.
Well, I've been looking fly all my life, so that ain't nothing new to me now. But I do want to say this. This is very kind of disrespectful that I did come on at least 5 minutes early, and I am a WWE Hall of Famer, such as Mr. Devon himself. But and then this is the first podcast I ever went on to, and you got the guest waiting. You got to wait for the host to wake up from a nap. What the hell?
Are you still mad about Chicago? I told you I wasn't in that room.
Listen here. You still owe me money. Like, we got to the hotel at 1 a.m. in the morning. Our flight leaves at 6 a.m. We in Chicago. We finally check in at 2 in the morning. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, my next door neighbor, I just hear all kind of racket noise, just like, they packing furniture, breaking, whatever the case it may be. I come out in the morning at 4 o'clock, no sleep. I'm angry. And who comes out the next door? Devon. And I believe that was that night that you and Bubba won the championship belts that night. Man, I was so frustrated. I was one angry Samoan. Didn't even want to see anybody.
Then on top of that, we had to take the rent-a-car back. So on top of having a 6 a.m. flight, you got to remember we had to leave even earlier to take the rent-a-car back, to rent a bus back to the airport, to the main terminal where we were flying out. So I get on the bus and I'm like, "Oh, what's up, Keish? You made it." He goes, "Yeah, man." He goes, "Man, somebody kept me up all night in that damn room." I said, "No, that wasn't me, man. That wasn't me." He goes, "All I heard was, put me through a table." Testify. That wasn't me. That wasn't me.
And listen to all the viewers out there. When I heard "put me to a table," that's all you guys need to know about. End of story, right there. End of story. You know, and I still got the receipt that you owe me half of my room that night because I didn't sleep.
Listen, after coming back to WWE after 10 years, I think your sons got the receipt when they kicked the hell out of WrestleMania in Dallas, Texas.
Hey, listen, that was the beautiful thing, man, to see you mix it up with the boys, man. Who would even knew back in the day, even your kids were young, running around, running around the locker room. Hey, listen, I used to be nervous when I bring my kids to the damn locker room. Because back in the day, we wasn't making that much money, man. So you bring your kids on and, Joshua and Jonathan running all over in catering, eating up all the cookies and everything, going into the wrestling, the ring crew, Nick Dahl trying to set up the freaking ring, and the twins are all jumping all around, your boys around there. I mean, I was scared that they was going to, the boys are going to mess something up in the locker room or around the arena and then turn around and take money off my paycheck, which I wasn't already making enough money any damn way.
Well, the bad thing about it was WrestleMania. The one time I remember when they were playing around throwing paper plates and catering, Michael Hayes was instigating it. And, they're sitting up there throwing paper plates around in the catering. Meanwhile, Vince had just left. And every once in a while, Vince would leave catering but then come back. So we're putting the TLC match together. And we decided to take a break because our brains were going crazy. I walked back into catering. And there's both Usos and my boys, the twins, Terrence and Terrell, getting up there with Michael Hayes, throwing freaking paper plates, making them look like Frisbees. I'm like, would you stop? I'm like, stop it. I'm like, that's going to come out of me and Kishi's check. Stop.
See what people didn't know in the office is that every TV I do, my kids going to eat good. Because I knew I was gonna bring my damn kids to the catering. I told them in the car, when we get there, you're gonna eat. Don't ask me that you want something to eat after the show because I ain't pulling over to get that damn thing. You got 4 hours to eat whatever they're serving out there. So have at it,
Absolutely.
That was kind of my way of getting back to the company.
No, it's great because here it is. I come back from TNA and I come back to WWE, and the boys are there, and I'm just like, wow. Because I remember Hogan when we were in the Staples Center and we were in a locker room. Everybody used to change back in the Hogan and Andre era. And I remember him coming in and he goes, man, Morocco used to sit there. Bundy was here. Stud was there. He would start naming, all the different areas in the locker room, who was sitting where. And Piper was sitting there and doing all of this. And Jake was, the Bulldogs with Matilda was messing with the dog. And they were messing with Jake the Snake, trying to get him all riled up. I mean, it was great. And then all of a sudden, now here it is. I come, whatever many years later, we're in the Staples Center. And then I see your boys. And it's like I'm reminiscing what Hogan said about his era. Now I'm thinking about what was going on between you and I and our era. And I'm remembering, we were sitting over there, Rico over there polishing the belt. You were looking at Rico talking about, what the hell are you doing? Billy Gunn and Chuck Palomo's over there playing Dawn Marie, Rey Mysterio, everybody, Maven, everybody was sitting up there. You could just go back in time. I closed my eyes. It was like I could visualize everyone where they were sitting in that particular place. It was like a time machine. And it was just amazing how all of a sudden, all these years later, now it's your boys.
You must feel pretty old just wrestling my kids in there, don't you?
Oh, I did. I was just saying, look, let me tell you something. I was just happy that I was able to hang with them.
Yeah, but I'll be like this. The day I come in there and I'm wrestling your kids, it's time for me to hang up my song.
Well, why you think I ain't wrestling no more?
Thank God it came to you, man.
Oh
there's something, your heart and your soul, it reaches down deep up in you. And it says that I can do this. I feel it.
Well,
do this.
Come on.
But once you get into the ring and you try to keep up with the youngsters, that's when reality hits like, damn.
You better testify.
It's
Come on.
time for me just to hang up the phone, hang up the boots, grab the table, put a cold drink on top of that table, and Devon, me and you toast to the
Oh
career,
yeah,
to paving the way.
which is what we did many a nights. I tell you what, I said this to you and Ron, and I'll say it again, and I'll keep saying it. When the whole Reverend Devon gimmick took place and it kind of went south, you two were there to encourage me and to keep me sane when I knew that I was being messed with and things weren't right. And you guys saw the writing on the wall and started telling me beforehand what was going on and how it was going to play out. And again, I can never ever thank you enough for helping me through those times. And some of the I was
That is so sweet of you, Devon. Thank you so much.
me
I tell
and
you, I
Mo,
love you, man.
I love you, brother. Me and Mo and Lindsay were talking before the show, and I said, yeah, we could talk about the ruthless aggression era. And I was Reverend Devon and Rikishi. I said we basically worked together a lot. I remember the one spot we did when I jumped off the top rope to do the what's up, and I got stuck in between you, and your legs fell on me, and I couldn't get out. And I remember you told me that spot. You was like, "Come on, let's do it. You go do the what's up, and then my legs will be up in the air, and I'll just drop them on you, and you just can't get out. And you try to worm your way out, and sure enough, the whole arena was cracking up."
Well, you know what? Listen, man. Back in those days, we wasn't really figured in. You know what I mean? We wasn't the main event, and so, but we were on the card. And
Right.
so once you in this industry, like once you find that mesh with somebody that you like to work, because it's already hard enough going to work. It's already hard enough packing your bags, leaving your family, the sacrifices of just being away from home. Now, you always want to go to work, and hopefully you're gonna work with somebody that's gonna make work easier for you, being on the road. And when me and Devon got married on the road, with this little angle that we were doing, it just made it for me so much more funner. It made it so much more easy. It made me like coming to work, and especially just working. The feeling, Devon, when you book to work against somebody that's just clumsy, somebody that's just dangerous,
or difficult to do business with.
Yeah, just very difficult. And then listen, Samoans. I always tell people this: before we were wrestlers, we was Samoans. Now, if you know anything about Samoans, we don't play. We can do it. We can do it either way. We can go the rough way, the shoot way, or we can go business way. Preferred, you'd go business. But in the industry, that's what we had, and we always kept it. Not to say that Samoans were bullies or anything like that, but that's the way we were taught. We were taught to do business. Now, but we were also taught to also protect yourself. And it was such a pleasure working against a guy like you, Devon, just to make my life easier on the road. And the way I look at it, you helped me put food on the table for my kids and my family during those times. And see, that's the real talk. What a lot of people don't understand. This industry. Now I'm gonna look at this. You don't just get this just to get this, right?
Absolutely.
In this industry, I'm gonna take them back, Devon. In this industry here, like a lot of you kids right now, like if you're listening to this show, and I hope you're listening, like and share it to everybody that's out there. In this industry, you get one opportunity and one opportunity only.
Yeah.
Today, you guys have all the perks that's out there, man, to be able to be successful, right? But if you don't get it up here and understand what this game is about, you're never going to last. Longevity is not going to apply to you. So understand, like when you come across, like we've been blessed to be around, you're telling the stories being around Alfonseca and Jake the Snake, Andre the Giant back today. Man, you don't get psychology like that anymore, man.
No,
not
you
today.
Don't.
And if you run against OGs like that, you better recognize and better just sit down and listen for a second, because this is just for their own good, man. And that's what I tell my kids.
And I've said that numerous times, in terms of the younger generation putting matches together, thinking that, psychology doesn't mean anything, and they just jump out of a ring and do all these flips and dives for no reason, and it doesn't matter. And I'm like, no, that's not what you do, man. I'm like, you have to make it make sense. you and I tore the house down many times, you know, just being the characters and doing what we did. I remember when we did the Raw thing with Revival and your boys. And I remember both your boys go, damn, I wish I was over like you and my dad. I was like, what you mean? Nigga, like, y'all didn't even touch. All y'all did was attempt to touch. And that crowd went crazy. And he was like, that's what I want to be. He goes, I want to be like that. You know, where we don't even have to do anything, make it look like we're about to fight, and people get out their seats and ready to jump up. I said, that's the thing. I said, your dad and I said, your dad taught me a lot. I said, you have no idea. And I remember during almost the very beginning of when we started doing business together. There you go.
Look at those cuties.
And who's that sexy blonde guy there?
Hey.
I was thinking the bald, sexy black man. He's a hell of a man. But I remember telling your boys, I told them one day in the locker room, I said, let me tell you something. I said, your father took care of me and guided me and helped me with so much knowledge. I said, it's only fitting that I do it in return. Because I remember they came to me and said, thank you, Devon, so much for everything you did. I said, no. I said, it's called passing the torch. That's one. I said, and two, there's no way I couldn't take care of you boys in that ring the way your father took care of me. I said, that's respect.
Yeah, and you know too, like whether it's my kids or your kids, I mean, this is us speaking because how we love the industry. You know, we gonna take people to school here. I don't care if it's my kids, your kids, or whoever. The respect is not passed on. You got to earn that. I don't care if you come from this bloodline. You know, you come from this bloodline, they got bigger shoes. Well, guess what? It's a lot more work. It's a lot more pressure for the boys to do. And, you know, they're doing a great job now. And it's vice versa for your kids as well. Daddy Devon paved the way. But guess what? Here's reality. You got to get in there and pave your way and make your own footstep in this industry. You know,
absolutely.
Because this industry, I'm telling you right now, you know this too, my brother. This ain't for everybody, man. No, it ain't. Don't let the smokes and mirrors fool you, man. Don't let it fool you. It's a beautiful thing out there to have your own action figure and be on a PS5 game, you know, Xbox game. It's a beautiful thing, beautiful paycheck. But at the end of the day, are you really what are you using your platform for?
Yeah.
How you gonna touch the new generation's life that's coming up after us? Are you gonna keep it real, or you just gonna be another victim of the game? You know? Well,
come on, testify.
There's a lot of thinking going on. I don't know about all this thinking that we have going on.
I think I better get my oil, and we got to start. You know.
And listen. So this, like, how fitting is this? Like, this topic we talk. You know, you got two wrestlers here. It's obviously we love the business, and I'm so happy to be on this platform to be able to voice my thoughts, my expertise, advice of this industry. And if I can only just reach out, I say this all the time at our academy here at Knox Pro in Los Angeles. If I can just reach out and touch all the kids that are around the country, around the world, and be able to bring them to where we at, you know, it's because we want them just to learn the right way of what this industry is, ins and outs, you know. And so, you know, and not only it's important for us that they understand the ins and outs of the industry, but also how they market themselves, you know, in the industry, you know, to be able to learn how to do charities, to give back to your community, to give back to the people that were there for you when you was a nobody. And then all of a sudden you a big time superstar, or you can't ride in my old beat up 98 Chevy truck no more. You got to have a limo, or you got to have a nice rent a car. You got to have the bling bling in it. Oh, wait a minute. You don't eat Mickey D's no more, huh? You up in Chris Ruth now, huh? Is that what it is? Guess what they say? Hey, it's not what you make, man. It's what you save, and remember where you come from. You dig?
Absolutely.
And so for me, with this is, you know, I get a lot of times actually, how is our family? You know, I am so proud of what our legacy, the Dynasty, Samoan Dynasty legacy, have done in this industry. But guess what? We couldn't have done it. We couldn't have done it without the teachings of those before us. We couldn't have done it if guys like myself, Umanga, Rodney, Yoko, the Uso Romans, Jacob, my son, the whole 20 of us, however many of us is in there. We couldn't have done it if we didn't choose to listen, if we didn't choose to want to learn. And so to be successful in this industry, man, I'm telling you kids out there, and everybody out there, this industry ain't no joke.
It sure
I got
isn't,
damn near
especially
about 40,
nowadays.
45 broken bones, however many, like I lost count on surgeries. Man, my kids just ask me, Daddy, why when you go to when we come to the shows and you see a lot of the OGs, one of my sons asked me, why is you always said that, glad we made it? Because I say it all the time. Every time I see guys like you, glad we made it. That was always the same to me. Glad we made it. And what I explain to them, I say that to my friends because back in the day, we struggled. We sacrificed. We stayed in Motel 6 and we had like 4 in the bedroom, 2 box springs on the floor. We all know how filthy and dirty Motel 6. But guess what, right? And then you're in a small Taurus. 4 of us. We're big superstars, man. Gigantic superstars. But we 4 in the damn Taurus. We roll it, man. And every time we are out there sacrificing late night, early flights in the morning is to be able to make that money and bring it back home to your family. I'll go ahead and take the hit. I'll go ahead and take the hit out there. But when I come home and I see my family is good, my kids are good, I got a nice place. They are comfortable. The heat, the water, the lights, everything is fine. Oh, I think I'll redo that over again.
Yep. I don't think people understand, especially some of the younger people, even the fans. I say this all the time, respect. This one sucks or that one sucks. You don't know what that man's going through that's in this business doing what they're doing, and what they had to sacrifice to get to where they are today, and you could only dream about being in their shoes. I always say that, in terms of guys like that. It's one of those things where, respect, it seems to be, Rikishi, respect from the younger generation, even the fans, some of the fans, is just thrown out the window. I could never think of them. I could never in a million years say some of the stuff that I see on social media, to some of the stars that we have today. It's just very disrespectful. They feel like they can do it or can say it or what have you. And I'm like, no, man, no, that's wrong. That's wrong. You don't do that.
And see, we talk about that. I'm gonna answer that. What I feel about right there. Like I said before, if we can just reach out to the world and bring them all in, because those kids had to come from some type of school. They had to come from wherever academy they were at, be it a backyard, whoever. Maybe somebody just had a ring, and that person there just wanted, it was convenient for them to go right down the street to go train at that ring, rather than go 5 hours or 4 hours down to Devon Dudley School or wherever school, whoever somebody. So what I'm saying today is they have a lot more opportunity today, and it's right here. It's on a cell phone. All you got to do is Google and find out, do your research. Because if I'm going to have my kids be the best doctor, I want them to be the best doctor. Guess what? I'm sending my daughter to the best freaking college to go to be the doctor. I'm not going to send her right down the street because it's convenient. No. This industry comes with a price. Success comes with a price, and it's called hard work. It's called you doing the work, and you got to hit. You got to drop bottom, man. If we ain't even got enough time on this podcast to talk about what we have went through to be able to become where we are at. And look at here. I think between you, 30, we're looking at almost 70, 60 plus years of business together on the screen. And you just can imagine, 60 years. We way over 1 million miles of flights. Can't even tell you how much miles in that, and let alone white line fever. White line fever mean all the road trips. When you are driving at night, you see those white lines in the middle that breaks up. We lost count. We lost count on that. And so, what I'm saying there is like these kids here, I don't blame them for being not smart that are in the industry today. I don't blame them. I blame whoever taught them. I blame that
Yes.
those that are surrounding them at the moment. Now, maybe they did whatever they had to do to get in the industry, but once you get in the industry, it is there when you need to shut your mouth, open your eyes, and listen to
Mm-hmm.
those that understand. Because
Absolutely.
if you don't shut your mouth, and you know this, if the boys don't like you, Devon, in the locker room,
It's
I don't
over.
give a damn how good you are,
Mm-hmm.
how whatever you look like the poster child or your body is
Mm-hmm.
a Mac. I mean,
It's
100%,
over.
you're gone.
I wouldn't. There's no type of protection from Vince McMahon that can protect you. It's over. You're done.
Hey, the boys good. The boys can burn. They can turn in like a bunch of mobsters. If we
Mm-hmm.
don't like you, you don't come correct. Trust
You're
you, me.
done.
We'll make your locker room experience the most difficult experience you've ever had in your life. That's
Mm-hmm.
that's behind the scenes when nobody sees this. Oh, but you're a big superstar on the front on TV. You're this huge. Your face is way up on the, on the marquee, baby. Yeah, you're that tough guy there. In the back of the locker room, there it is. The lions will eat you up.
Oh yeah.
All right, so you better
And
come correct. It's this ain't a game, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we trying to spit it to you because tomorrow ain't
listen,
promised for me and Devon.
no. And I've seen so many things down in the locker room. I'm sure Kishi seeing his share of people that their heads got so big and thought that they were the shit when they walked into that locker room because where they were on the card. And boy, them boys put them right back down on the bottom.
Yeah,
I've seen guys go to the ring, their clothes get cut up, put in the shower, put in the shower, just ruined. I seen, people get bag shit in, the whole nine. I mean, again, and it's all in how they present themselves in the locker room because they're being disrespectful. But like Kishi said, you can't really blame some of them because it's where they grew, where they were taught and how they were taught. That's why I always say, don't go to somebody's school who's not reputable. Go to someone's school who's been somewhere, who knows the knowledge and knows how to survive in this business. Again, and Kishi's got a great school up there in California. Me in Florida, the whole nine. That's what it's all about. That's what you have to do because coming into business the wrong way, right then and there, will set the tone for your whole career.
you know what? You know, our passion for the industry, and I'm talking to all the kids that are going to these academies that are wanting to become, wanting to learn the industry and wanting to become this big superstar in the industry. Like for us, in our academy at Knox Pro, we come from a culture of Samoan culture. Now, Samoan culture, it is family, faith, and respect.
Mm-hmm.
Family, faith, and respect. And yeah, I'm sure you see that in my kids. My kids, I mold those boys the way they are, right?
Yep.
And so I do the same thing. We do the same thing. My partner, myself, and my first cousin Reno Anoa'i. He has this picture there as well. We mold these kids in our academy like like our culture, family, respect, and faith, right? But the
Mm-hmm.
beautiful thing is it's diversity, right? So we got all these kids from all different walks of life. When they come, they're already nervous, Devon, when they come through the gates because they don't know what to expect. All they know is
Right.
what they see on TV is PlayStation. But once they
Mm-hmm.
hit that 3/4 plywood, once they hit those steel posts, those four corner steel posts, all of a sudden it's like, oh damn, this shit
Yeah.
hurts.
Mm-hmm.
This hurts. And
Yeah.
so we teach them that's only one training.
Yeah.
Imagine you got to go 200 days on the booking. So
Mm-hmm.
once you imagine we get hurt that first night, and yet we have to go to the show the next day. You think we're
And
gonna call
drive.
WWE and tell WWE Vince McMahon and no, we're not gonna show up? Why are you not gonna show up, Junior? Why aren't you showing up, Kishi? Oh, because I'm hurt from last night. Well, there you go. Here's your pink slip. So at the
Mm-hmm.
academy, we train them to understand what this industry and we teach them like our own kids, man. Like I love every single kid that comes to the academy, and I tell them straight. For me, this ain't about business. I can care less about your membership or your fees. What I care about is that you understand what this industry it is. And then some of you guys, Some of you women are going to make it. Some of you, I'm going to tell you straight up, this is not for you. Because if we see any type of signs of mental block, like, your weakness, your heart is weak, your mind is weak, the ribs go on, Devon, you know this. The business will eat you up if you are not strong mentally. And guess what? We teach them at the academy to know your worth. Diversity. I don't care if it was a white dude on the marquee all this time. I don't care if it's a black dude, a Hispanic dude, Samoan, you name it, Arabian, whoever. If you know that you are that damn good, well, damn it, speak up. Maybe you're not written into the certain whatever angle they got going on. Maybe the writers don't like you because who you look like. You don't look like that person. You don't look like the person that's supposed to be the marquee. But guess what? The one thing that they cannot take away from you is your 5 minutes of work inside that wrestling ring. Not an agent, not Vince McMahon, not Devon, not Rikishi, not anybody. Guess who has control of that? It's that kid that came to come to train. It's that dream that he had. Had he not had that smarts, he would have never knew to took that opportunity. And it only comes by one time.
Absolutely. That's knowledge right there. That's knowledge right there.
When is this book coming out? When can I buy this book? I'm really excited.
Well, y'all go ahead and promote
the amazing.
Promote the book, because we'll be there to do the book signing and everything. And
Love it.
Not only that,
I'm gonna buy it.
We even put some road stories in there.
For some reason, I'm like totally interested in wrestling now. Wasn't before.
Well, you know what? I mean, it's a beautiful thing. Wrestling is a huge business.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a huge business from marketing to action figures to games. But what people, my mission on while I got time, while I'm still living. I mean, we dropping like flies, with everything right now.
Yeah, Devon's got 2 feet in the ground.
While we still living, man, it's just important. It's important to me that, that the fans and also the kids of the future that are coming in this industry understand 100% truly the sacrifice that we as professional wrestlers go through.
Right. And I don't think people realize that they see TV, they see the glitz and glamour and all of that. And then I'm an athlete, I can do this and I can do that. But like you said, once they step in that squared circle, it's totally different. It's not what you see on TV. It's a lot of hard work to put in to get to the level that we're at. It really, really is.
On the topic of running out of time and whatnot, I'm sorry to cut you off there, Devon. Exactly 1 year ago today, you actually gave us a scare, Rikishi, and it wasn't your fault at all. Do you remember what it was a year ago that got you trending?
Well, what's her name? God, is it the Lizzo?
Yep.
Hey,
absolutely.
How you doing?
Exactly Lizzo? 1 year ago today, at the NBA game, Lizzo busts open her pants, and all of a sudden Rikishi starts trending, scaring us wrestling fans. Like, oh no, we lost another one. No.
Oh man, I you know what? When that was,
with you, hold on. I'm gonna be honest with you, Keith. I was happy.
That's when I first knew who you were.
I love Lizzo.
I had no idea who that was, and my kids hit me up because my daughter seen when I was trending, and so she thought, what was that trending about? And then she showed me that. I said, who is that? And of course she had, and this is how old I'm getting, 55 and alive. And then, she kind of smartened me up who it was. And all of a sudden, like I seen all these type of, exactly. I seen all these odds that people were putting up to me. And I was like, you know what? Here's what happened when you're in the industry long, because now your mind start going off of stuff, right? I was like, you know what, man, this will probably be a good thing. We can hit up Vince McMahon. And maybe we can do some, me and Lizzo just pop up at WrestleMania and just have some type of thong. I don't know.
If that's the case,
$8 makes sense.
If we can get Lizzo, I want to produce that segment.
Well, yeah, I want you to produce that segment. By all means, but you got to have your red coat on. You got to have your red super coat on.
Oh, can I borrow it from you?
Lucifer. you see, people in the industry, Brian, but the late Brian Christopher, Grandmaster
Yeah,
Sexy, he was one of my
yeah.
good friends. And so Brian's nickname back in the locker room days was Satan.
Satan, yep.
Right?
Harmless nickname.
Devon didn't know, Devon didn't know, like for me, Devon's name was Lucifer.
Really?
That's why I like that TV show.
That's it.
Really? That's why. That's all coming together.
Yeah,
no, I was a saint. I was a saint back in the Attitude Era.
You are hopefully, I've been praying for you a lot, my brother, and
My
hopefully
brother.
you are saved. I hope that the mighty hands of blessing has been put on your forehead.
Oh,
and
it's
you
been put on there.
changed.
Come on. Hey, listen,
I'm just happy to see
hold
you
on.
living.
Hold on. When we went to Australia for the first time in 15 years, you
Oh,
go remember
Lord.
back in 2002, and boy, oh boy, it was great. Reverend Devon was in full effect then.
Like I said,
I had to speak to the masses of people.
Yeah, like I said, we made it.
Yes, we did.
And I'm going to leave it at that.
One of the questions I wanted to ask, Keish, is back when you were Samoan SWAT team, when you were with Big Sam, you guys were traveling up and down the highways and this and that. Who would you say was your best run with back then as a tag team with Big Sam during that time? Both WWE and WCW.
Without a doubt, I'd have to say the Steiner brothers.
Steiners, yeah, because you guys had some good feuds with the Steiners.
Yeah, we had some good. We actually started working with those Usos in WCW. I mean NWA back in the day. And again, once we tied up, we knew of them, but once we got to work together, it was kind of like right up our alley because we worked, but we worked snug. We worked kind of stiff. We still trying to find that way, but at the same time, as we kept working with these cats here, we didn't know that they had a reputation of working stiff too. And so, being married to those cats there, and then finally moving up to the WWE, I think it was when Yoko, when he wrestled Bret Hart in Las Vegas. I'm not sure what WrestleMania that was when Hogan came and won the belt back from Yoko, but we actually wrestled the Steiner brothers during that time in Las Vegas. And I'll tell you what, man, it was one of these matches that for me kind of went down in history in my legacy. That to be able to perform that day with these cats here is probably one of the best matches we had in the tag team level. So of course, but the easiest, I'd probably have to say you and Bubba. Our matches, our match was just kind of in a way to where entertainment. And also, when you working, not to say I don't love the Steiners and stuff, but when you working with somebody that you just care for, it's not work. It's like ribbing each other.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
I think Bubba told a story one time that he has never been slapped so hard. I don't know if you remember this, Devon.
I remember. I was there. It was in Allentown, Pennsylvania. It was Rosie and Big Sam with Alpha on the outside, and we did an angle to where I was supposed to be afraid of Big Dick. Every time Big Dick Dudley would come to the ring, I would run, and it was like we never crossed paths with each other. Well, this one particular match, I come in the ring and it's like I'm about to go after Big Sam and Rosie, and then all of a sudden I see Alpha at ringside, and I go, "Oh my God, it's Alpha!" And I run down, I give him a big hug, and Alpha, he's selling it. Oh, it was freaking great. And then all of a sudden, Bubba steps in and starts his stuttering gimmick, and Big Sam just looked at him and bam, and snapped. And you could hear it back in the locker room, and I just went, "Oh my God, thank God." When we worked out that spot, it wasn't me getting slapped. Good God. I don't think my jaw would have still been in place after that slap. And he's right. It was the hardest I think Bubba has ever been hit in a professional wrestling ring.
Yeah, Bubba said it. He was in the locker. It's funny as how Bubba explains it in the locker room. Keep in mind, Bubba's a big dude.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's not a small cat, but he said, I mean, Sammy, use Simone's hands. Sammy, it said, Sammy slapped him so hard that he's never been hit like that in the industry. So that's a good way for Bubba to remember Sammy. Oh my goodness, man.
Now, Kishi, were you part of the Hogan and Andre era as well?
Yeah, well, listen, I was actually a kid in the locker room. You know, my uncle Alfonso was during that time. And so, you know, I was that kid that, you know, pull the bags, you know, get the car and stuff, make sure everything's, you know, I was the roadie at the time, but during those times, you know, my uncles, they would take me so we can understand. We all went through this in our family. And you know, that was it. You know, I mean, I was there, but I wasn't there, you know what I mean? Because I was just so busy, like, you know, listening to what we call doing faos. Doing faos mean doing chores. So I was doing chores on the road.
Because I was wondering, I mean, you know, we talk about offense, Sika, you know, we talk about you and Big Sam, but a lot of times I like to think that we need to add in Tonka Kid too, because he definitely helped pave the way. You know, him doing the thing with Piper and Snooker and making all that money back in and selling out arenas.
You know, my brother there, he doesn't get enough credit the way he should be. Meaning that because of the new era, they don't know really they don't remember him. You know, and he is the youngest professional wrestler to ever sell out the Madison Square Garden. Till this day, my brother holds that record at the age of 17, the youngest professional wrestler. So I look at,
oh my God. I mean, it was amazing how he would just stand right in the middle of the ring and do a leapfrog and get so high without any momentum. I mean, you talk about natural. Oh my God. Your brother Tonga Kid was probably one of the most natural athletes I've ever seen. And like you said, you're right. He doesn't get the credit that he should get.
And picture this, you know, at 17, he doesn't know how to read. He doesn't know how to write. And back in the day, they didn't have GPS. Do you remember those big old maps, Devon?
Maps.
Those
We had to learn.
So he had those maps, but he didn't read. Now catch this. He didn't read, right? So what he would do is, like, when he go eat, he would have a fan that recognized him. Get those highlighter, and highlight the road, right? And then if the fan was, you know, most of the time, he would tell the fans, he would give them tickets because they knew he was hot. I mean, he was like Hulk Hogan hot, Jimmy Snuka hot back in the day. At 17 years, he was like the Jeff Hardy back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like
probably bigger.
Everybody, but I'm saying all the Tinny Bops, all that era, those youngsters, man, they loved him, right? So he would ask them, like, if you guys can take me, like, I'll give you guys some tickets to come into the arena. Well, guess what? He would have that escort, not from police, but from hardcore fans back in the day.
Yeah,
you know, and he would be somebody for you to bring on your show to kind of tell his story, because his story alone, like, man, my parents, I'm going to leave it at this because I don't want to tell the whole story. My parents gave him, he was so bad in the Bay Area, San Francisco, California, that my mother, who is Alfonsica's sister, got so tired, like, was scared that her son would be killed in the Bay Area. So put him on the bus, I think at 14 years old, gave him a tuna sandwich, gave him like $5 rolls of quarters, send him on a Greyhound bus from the Bay Area all the way to Pensacola, Florida. That's 3 freaking days.
Wow.
3 freaking days. Now you talk about a family that comes from the gutter, from nothing. We had nothing. My mom used to work in the in the hotel being housekeeping. My father did. He was a construction worker, and so my mother, knew that if she didn't get her kids out of the Bay Area, California, every single one of us was going to die. Because listen, we come from the Bay, we come from the streets of Cali, and if you know anything about the Bay Area, back in the day, I mean, it was very, very rough. And we lived out there in the ghetto of Sunnydale, California. And my mother was like, no, 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 no. I'm going to send my kids over to my brothers because, let alone we didn't want to leave. We was like, no kid want to leave home. I want to stay home and be with my parents. Fast forward years, 30 years later, man, I'm so grateful and thankful, that my late mother did that to us to be able to, we didn't understand at the time. And, we just listened and went with the flow. And here we are years later, we're talking to you.
Mm-hmm. That's a testimony right there. That's a testimonial right there. And that just sums it all up. And, again, one of the things that I love about it is that a lot of young people today think that things should be given to them or that they are entitled to a lot of things. They don't realize the struggles that even if we weren't in this business, just the struggles it was to survive where we grew up in. Kishi grew up in the Bay Area. I grew up in Brooklyn. It's they don't understand the struggle and how real it was back in the day. Like Kishi said earlier on in the podcast, they have a lot of things given to them now, and they're privileged because of things like this. Because of the cell phones and things like this, they have that. So, they don't realize how the struggle can be real. And here's the great thing about it. How do you get out of that struggle when it gets to that point? How do you survive? That's one of the key things in it all right there.
It's so scary too. To have this right now, like people, we can be living our normal life. Like we just being innocent, doing what we're doing. But by the time they catch you on this, and I don't know somebody shooting me, I'm out with my family, just doing my thing, trying to, I want to be, normal, but I want to be myself. But by the time, because who we are, and you have this, by the time they're done with us and they edit that and they put it up, blah, 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 soon as they go out and all they see is what they see. It's too late now. It's too late for me to come back and say blah, blah, blah. Yeah, even if I want to, number of times I don't even address it because I don't feel I need to address anything that was fake to put out there about me. Because if I come and address it, now I'm putting it over. But if I just leave it alone, then it is what it is. That'll just circle amongst their group. So what I'm saying is kids you have to be careful. Even grown adults, we all have to be careful, man. Not every people have good intentions for you.
This is true.
They might be jealous that you're having this podcast. She's having a good podcast. He's having like all of us, we're here, at any given moment. Hey, man, by the time they twist the stories up, twist the editing, the footage up, we been doing something like we wasn't supposed to do, but that wasn't us, So recognize, be careful. Be careful. That's all I'm saying. And I love y'all. If I didn't say anything now, I do want to say this to all, that because I truly believe, tomorrow's not promised. And this is a beautiful thing that we're able to have online and virtual, podcasts like this and throughout the world. And this is the avenue and the system and the technique that we can all use for the time being until this craziness, what's happening to our world, is to reach out and say, I love you. I love you and I love you. Take time to hug those that are in your house, that are nearby you, and take time just to pick up the phone. You ain't got to text me. Pick up the phone. Call me. I want to hear your voice and just say, hello, how you doing? And I love you. All right. And for those that are out there, I heard about your family being with the COVID and so forth. I want to tap onto this. And, first of all, I'm sorry and know that I love you and your family. And I get the pain you're going through. Unfortunately, with me, we noticed that my father got hit with the COVID on October the 4th.
Yeah.
I mean, October the 4th, he'd been in the hospital 2 months. And finally, he laid to rest on October the 4th. And, I just celebrated my brother's Umanga, the late Umanga. He passed away December the 4th.
Who I love dearly. He was such a great friend of mine.
My last name has 4 letters. F-A-T-U. Fatu in English means heart. I sit and I think about it. I missed him, and I was so lost when I lost my father. And I start to think about what could I have done better? What could I have done to even try to save him? The most difficult time for me was to watch my father take his last breath through a damn iPad. And I think about all what's happening that has led that moment up to that, to where I was denied the access to hold my father's hand. I was denied the access to be there with him to his last dying breath. And it makes me wonder, Devon, that we're not through yet. There's something here for us that we have not done, my brother. Absolutely. So what I'm saying to everyone that's out there that's gotten hit with this COVID, that's going through some hard times, keep going onward, upward, keep going forward, because there is something that's ahead for you that needs to be accomplished in your life. And so with love and respect to all of you that are out there listening, thank you guys, man. Devon, I love you and your crew. And thank you for having your boy on, man.
Oh, no, thank you.
Real talk, man. This podcast, but this is my only way to, for us to communicate for the time being. And we don't get to say this too often, man. We in the same profession, and I didn't know you from the beginning, but our relationship grew to understand each other as professionals and as brothers, as men. And I thank you for looking after me back in the day. I thank you for not being an asshole. Thank you for being the real deal. And no, it's true, because in this industry, in any business, professional business, there's a lot of smokes and mirrors. And I pray for you guys' show here to continue to, reach the highest levels of success that you also rightfully deserve, because you guys are putting out shows to put smiles on people's faces and for each one to teach one. And I hope that this episode here has hit people in a way to where it's not about entertainment. It's just about a person of life, of his journey, of their success, of what they've come from and what they've become, that everything is possible through hard work and being a good person and just believe in faith. And it's free to be kind to one another.
Absolutely. Testify, my brother. Kishi, I love you to death, and I thank you for being on the show this week. And you have truly been an inspiration. Again, we would love to get Tonga Kid on as well, so you can tell his story. So you can reach out to him for us and set that up for us. That'd be great. We'd love to have him on Table Talk. And, again, thank you for all the years of being together. Thank you for guiding me, protecting me through all the hard times. And I can't begin to thank you enough, my brother, and how much I love you and your family, and how everybody, has really been there for me during my time of need. So I thank you so much, my brother. I thank you. And I don't want to keep you too much. I know when I text you, I said we were only going to have you on for 20 minutes, and we wanted to be on for the whole hour. But like you said, it's real talk, and you can't stop real talk.
Listen, their opportunity comes in once in a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And when you're smart enough to take it, you better wake up to take it. And I hopefully that this is what it's about, and it's all love. It's all love coming from this way. All right.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys for having me, man. You guys have a
Thank you
blessed
so
day.
much.
Oh, my
Thank you,
brother.
sir.
You keep testifying, Kishi. Love you, man.
Love you too. Bye bye.
All right, brother.
Well,
Do you think he has an opening to be my new therapist?
oh,
Well, I'm gonna tell
Just-
you what, he was my therapist during that Reverend Devon stint, and
I
always
have
said
that sinus tissue.
he was so inspirational for me because, you know, to me, I love that Reverend Devon gimmick, and I still do to this day. And to me, I don't believe it was a failure. It wasn't a failure. Listen, I was in the ring with him, Farouk, Randy Orton, John Cena, Triple H. You know, I've always said, if it was that much of a failure, by the time I had gotten in the ring with Triple H, he would have never laid down for me in the middle of the ring the way he did. So if anybody wants to talk about the Reverend Devon character not being successful, I'm sorry. I was in there, like I said, with Rikishi, Farouk, John Cena, Randy Orton, and Triple H, and all hell victories. You know, so it was a great time, and did promote events where we did it right on the fly. He loved it. Where it went wrong, I know where it went wrong, and I know how it went wrong. But I'll keep silent on that because I don't need to bring anybody into it. But I know that Reverend Devon was good, especially when I got guys like Farouk and Rikishi telling me, "You doing your damn good job. Don't worry about that. You just keep doing what you're doing, and the people will see it." And the people did see it. When I started bringing that stuff back on social media, people, the outpour talking about, you know, they don't know why it went south or why it didn't get much play. But Reverend Devon gimmick was very good, and I'm very proud of it to this day.
absolutely. Absolutely. People want to know. Mark just writing. You feeling better, Devon, health wise?
Health-wise, I feel great, man. I mean, you know, I'm taking, you know, everything, you know, day by day, and you know that common cold kicked my butt. It wasn't corona, but it kicked my butt, and you know, I'm doing all right, man. You know, no nagging coughs or anything like that. And yes, we get tested WWE once a week, sometimes twice, and we take the necessary precautions. And so, no, it wasn't COVID, just for you sheet writers out there. Because I said common cold. I don't want you saying, oh, well, Devon might have had COVID. No, I didn't. I did not have COVID. Okay. Like I said before, I could have gallstones or anything. You know, I could have had maybe a kidney transplant or something. Who knows?
Raging hemorrhoids.
Hemorrhoids, well, I mean, you know,
Raging hemorrhoids.
I wouldn't be sitting down if I did.
I mean, we don't know. You could be kneeling. I mean,
You've been kneeling this whole time.
yeah, you got strong knees.
And you know what?
Right now, hold on. I do not have strong knees. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you've been in this business as long as I have for 30 years, you ain't got you ain't got strong knees.
No, and guys, it wasn't a heart transplant either. I didn't donate my heart to him.
Could be special butt pillows for your raging hemorrhoids.
I mean, what? What are those? I don't know.
Uncommon case of COVID, life hanging by a table. That's Devon. That's our headline.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm hanging in there and doing what I got to do, me and my family, and you know, I'm going to keep strong and keep doing what I'm doing.
And I'll let everybody know how my results come in. I actually, so I took a test last week because I ended up getting exposed to a COVID positive physician of all people. So I then took a test. After 5 days of waiting, I got results that were inconclusive.
What?
So that means I had to go back today to get tested again, hopefully get results tomorrow. I don't have to wait as long this time. But they rescheduled my appointment, never put a confirmation code. So long story short, they didn't have my materials ready to go. So I'd have to drive around, wait in that long ass line again, because appointments, who cares? Get back in line. And it was taking so long, I actually thought I was going to have to start the show on my cell phone in my car. And if I had to, I was going to do the nose swab live on the show.
Oh, man. God, I'm sorry we missed it.
Listen, I'm not going to lie. That thing is god-awful terrible. I hate that thing.
Gosh, I wouldn't know.
Scarlett.
But
God,
I didn't want to lose my spot in line, so I would have done it if I had to here on the show. So hopefully we'll see what happens. I feel fine, but I could be asymptomatic, so I want to double check on that. Brian says, Lindsay, your hair is great like always.
Brian, you're amazing. Love you.
And Devon, if you can, information on the sitcom with Bliss and Charlotte.
On the is that the
Punky Brewster?
Punky Brewster? Yes, I believe it's going to be out sometime next year
Okay.
for NBC. I think if they go on the site for NBC, all the information will be on there. We had a real good time doing it, and it was a pleasure being with NBC and doing it. It was just one of those things where, sometimes God puts you in a position to do something outside of what you're used to doing, and it worked. It really did work. So I was very happy to be a part of that, and I can't wait for the final results to air.
I'm excited. I enjoyed Punky Brewster back in the day.
Yep, a new Punky. It's actually the same Punky, but now she's the parent.
Right, it's Punky. She's all grown up, and the old man who adopted her, unfortunately passed away. It's been 30, 40 years since the original Punky Bruce came out.
What?
And
No.
so if that's the case, and the gentleman was, he was older, so he's no longer with us, unfortunately. But now Punky's older, and now she's adopted a young lady, and a young girl, I should say. And the young girl was a huge wrestling fan and loved Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. So we went out there and did the show, and I helped produce and choreograph the fight scenes and all of that for the show, and I had a great time. I can add that to my resume. And when things open up from this COVID, maybe that's an opportunity for me to go work for NBC as well.
Maybe.
You never know.
Yeah.
You never know.
Does the new Punky Brewster, does the new kid actually know who the Dudleys are, or is there a joke in there?
No,
I'm Devon.
Who is that? I don't know.
Let me put it this way. I believe that the new girl that's playing Punky's daughter, I think she's got to be every bit of maybe 5 or 4.
Oh, wow.
So she has no idea.
More of an Edge and Christian fan is what you're saying.
She probably don't even know who The Rock is.
What?
Yeah, no. Or Hulk Hogan. Let alone know who Devon Dudley is. That's how young she is. She's
so not a
young,
true wrestling fan is what you're saying.
Oh, I don't
she's
think
fake.
So. I don't think she's a wrestling fan. I think because of the show and knowing that we were coming there to do Punky, I think she did her research and looked up Alexa and all of them so she get to know them. And I think she actually really genuinely fell in love with both Alexa and Charlotte.
I'm sure.
I know her eyes lit up when she saw them, and that was just a moment there, for her seeing Alexa and Charlotte. But I think every young girl who watches pro wrestling and then sees somebody like Charlotte or Alexa Bliss or even Becky. I've seen little girls light up like there's no tomorrow when they see Becky. And it's like that's all they see. That's all they want to meet. That's all they care about is their favorite female WWE superstar. And I think it's great because women are now getting the attention that men used to get all these years in pro wrestling. Now it's turning over to the women. And I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah. Absolutely. I just hope somebody introduces her to tag team wrestling through Edge and Christian. That's all I hope. Maybe Edge and Christian versus the Hardys, like some real tag team wrestling there.
Legit.
That's true, but but when she finds out who was the most successful tag team in the history of this business, it will be the Dudleys.
And they'll wonder why.
24 times world tag team champions and Hall of Famer. You got to remember one thing. There's one guy on that team that you just mentioned that isn't in the Hall of Fame yet.
Yeah.
He should have been in there a long time ago.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But he's not in there, and I believe his day is coming.
There you go. There you go. So as you see scrolling at the bottom, at Testify Devon, at _, Lindsay Martini, at Mode Lightning, at Wrestling Audio, if you want to interact with us. Thank you again to Rikishi for joining us. And Devon, thanks for showing up this week.
Thank you.
He's got nothing. He's like,
You're welcome.